So if you're a dad, a granddad, an uncle, and you haven't been to school in a while, or it's been a few years, then the term ATAR might be a bit foreign to you. It's for ATAR. Now, primary schools and secondary schools in Australia are run by the different states, but the university system is a federal system. It's across the whole nation. So each university needs some way to pick and choose students for different courses, and that's where the ATAR comes in. ATAR is an acronym. It stands for Australian Tertiary Admissions Ranking. So it's used by universities to decide and rank all the students that apply for their courses so they can choose the very best. Now, if you go to the different state websites, they actually have the following wording explaining what it is. So the ATAR is a percentile rank, not a mark. This rank indicates a student's position relative to other students in their age group in any given year. There are two considerations with the ATAR. First is how it's calculated, and the second is how it's used. I'd like to say that this is simple, but that's simply not the case. Each state works out a different way to calculate the ATARs for their students. And we've also got the consideration that each student chooses different courses in Year 12, different classes, and so those combinations have to be worked out to come up with a fair way to allocate an ATAR ranking to all students. While the system is complex, it does allow students to choose courses in high school that really fit with who they are and what they really enjoy doing. And this then is going to lead them to choosing courses at university, which they're going to enjoy and hopefully be successful at. And that's what we all want. I think one of the best ways to highlight the complexity of the task of calculating ATARs is shown by considering that Queensland has a 33-page technical document that explains the process. The document has a range of algebraic calculations and algorithms explaining the process. Just have a look at some of these. Now I have to give a big shout out to Marco Lombardi. He's a statistician who wrote this document for the Queensland Tertiary Admissions Centre. So if you want to understand how it's calculated in your state, unfortunately you need to go to the relevant curriculum authority in your state, to their website, and have a search for ATAR. And they'll have the information there about how in their particular state they do the calculations. There's two ways that students can get the best ATAR possible. The first is to choose subjects that they really enjoy and not to choose subjects that they think might be scaled up or given a higher score just because of what the subject is. If they do that, they're going to not enjoy the course, they're not going to do well, and it's just not going to work out for them. The second way is to get the best possible grades they can while they're in year 11 and 12. Work really hard, do the best they can, really put the effort in during those 2 years and score as best they can in their exams, in their coursework, in everything they do. Just put the effort in, go really hard and get the best you can. If someone gets an ATAR of 84.75, then they perform better on their Year 12 studies than 84.75% of other students. So the higher the ATAR number, the higher the student's ranking. Now the next part of the ATAR puzzle is understanding how universities use it. I should start by mentioning that once this process that I'm about to describe is completed, it's very unlikely that you'll ever have to use your ATAR again. Okay, so for most Year 12 students, they're going to have to do some research on what courses and universities interest them. They're going to have to think about what they like to do and where they might like to study. Universities will do a lot to entice students because as part of their success, the number of students they have is critical. So in the major capital cities of Australia, there is fierce competition between universities and they will do anything they can to attract students. And certain universities will have a history of certain subjects and certain areas that they teach best. James Cook University in North Queensland is a place you go if you want to learn about the reef or the rainforest. Melbourne University might be one that you consider for law. The University of Technology in Sydney if you're interested in technology and science. So each university has its unique factors that they want to aim to get the students that are interested in that into their courses. So once a Year 12 student has looked at all the courses that might interest them, they put them in order of preference. And then they do an application through a state-based body where they fill in a form and put all those application preferences in order, and that gets processed and sent off. Now, usually you don't have to go directly to a university to apply. It's usually done through the state body. If you are wanting to study in another state, then you have to go through that state body in that particular state to do an application. So all these applications are sent off to the universities and they look at them and say, right, well, maybe I've got 200 places in this course and I've got 150 applicants. Great, we can run that course. Where they get more applicants than they have places, so they might get 600 applications for a course that's got 200 spots, they then use the ATAR. They'll rank those 600 applicants from the one with the highest ATAR down to the one with the lowest ATAR, and they'll take the top 200. Well, they'll offer the top 200. Now those top 200, some of them may not want to take one of those places. They might have got a place at another university. So then there's a second round of offers where if you missed out the first time for your course, the university might come back to you and say, actually, now we've got a spot that you can have if you'd like it. So once that process is done, you get an offer and then you can take it up. To help students decide if a course might be suitable for them, universities will generally publish what's called a cutoff, an ATAR cutoff, and that kind of says, if you score below this, then we're probably not going to accept an application from you. So we're looking for applicants scoring this score or higher. So we really see that in highly competitive things like doctors, lawyers, veterinarian sciences. Those fields that are really competitive, you'll see a high ATAR cutoff, and for other fields it might be lower, and each year it changes for each university. Hopefully now you have a better idea of what the ATAR is. To all the students out there that might be studying Year 12 this year, just want to say that remember, the ATAR doesn't define you as a human. If you don't get the ATAR you want, remember there are plenty of different pathways to study. We're very fortunate to live in Australia where, if you don't get in the first time, there are other ways to get in, other ways to get the study of the course you want, and other ways to excel in your life. To all the Year 12 students out there, just remember to stay balanced this year. To all the dads, uncles, granddads supporting some Year 12 students, keep going, right? Keep giving them the support they need. It can be a tough year for some of them and they really need the support. Until next time everyone, keep being a better Aussie man.